It was the kind of story no one dared whisper about for years. Alleged secret tapes, powerful figures conspiring behind the scenes, and accusations so shocking they threatened to shatter the most iconic names in modern music. Yet here we are, at the edge of what might be the biggest downfall in hip-hop history. Could one explosive leak drag everyone down? In the past, fans dismissed these claims as baseless rumors, but the mounting evidence has grown too heavy to ignore. From allegations involving a secret freak-off culture to the shadowy manipulations that hint at an entire system built on fear, hush money, and whispered threats, the stories swirling around Sean Jay-Z Carter, Beyoncé Knowles Carter, and Sean Diddy Commies have reached a tipping point. How did music's royal couple and a mogul once adored by millions find themselves in the crosshairs of lawsuits, federal investigations, and a tidal wave of new witnesses? Hang on tight. The deeper we go, the darker this saga becomes. The first cracks in this glittering fortress emerged quietly. A single lawsuit filed by a woman, identified only as Jane Doe, alleged she was forcibly violated at just 13 years old by both Diddy and Jay-Z during an after-party in 2000. At the time, many observers found it unthinkable. Jay-Z was on the cusp of rap superstardom, and Diddy's empire was synonymous with opulent music videos and chart-topping hits. Jane Doe's legal team pushed to keep her identity private. Her attorneys argued that revealing her name would not only endanger her personal safety, but also discourage other survivors from coming forward. Jay-Z's lawyers, however, came out swinging, demanding that she disclose her name or else drop the suit altogether. The presiding judge, unimpressed by the legal team's tactics, allowed the woman to remain anonymous. This ruling was a stark warning to the powerful music titan. Intimidation wouldn't work here. What started as a single claim soon grew legs, walking into the corners of the internet and igniting a storm. Fans went to social media in disbelief, many refusing to accept the possibility that the revered Carter brand could be tarnished by allegations of wrongdoing. But others wondered what else might be lurking beneath the surface. For the first time, the public got a hint that the glamour of the music world might hide something far more sinister. If one name could overshadow the Carters, it would be Diddy, music mogul, entrepreneur, and party king. He's been around forever, shaping careers and building entire brands with his unstoppable hustle. But behind the booming parties and high-end business deals, a string of federal charges began piling up against him. Allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and a labyrinth of coerced setups that left some victims too terrified to speak for decades. According to multiple insider leaks, Diddy hosted notorious parties known for their excessive, anything-goes ambiance. Guests described them as luxurious traps, where expensive liquor flowed and the lines between consensual fun and sinister coercion blurred. It was within these gilded walls that cameras allegedly rolled in secret, capturing footage too incriminating for the average person to even fathom. In a jaw-dropping twist, some insiders suggest Diddy leaked these tapes himself, possibly as an act of vengeance against Jay-Z and Beyoncé for what he saw as their betrayal when his legal troubles began to surface. The logic was simple. If his own empire was destined to crumble, why not take down the Carters with him? The internet lit up with speculation. Did Diddy actually have enough dirt to bring down one of the most untouchable couples in entertainment? The outcry only grew when rumors spread that federal raids on Diddy's properties revealed hidden vaults brimming with private tapes featuring high-profile celebrities. If these tapes truly exist, the big question is whether they merely document illegal behavior, or whether they capture the hidden puppet strings behind an entire web of exploitation that's haunted the industry for years. While Diddy's legal wars raged on, Jay-Z found himself drawn further into the quicksand. New lawsuits and allegations popped up with alarming frequency. Several women stepped forward, claiming they were coerced, manipulated, or lured into deeply troubling situations by Jay-Z or his associates. Some described scenes that echoed Diddy's alleged methods, a combination of power, money, intimidation, and lavish events used to keep victims compliant. Observers were stunned. Jay-Z had long been hailed as the epitome of business acumen, a man who rose from a difficult upbringing to become a billion-dollar brand. But his legal team's aggressive defense strategy, trying to expose the identities of alleged victims, struck many as cruel. In interviews, critics accused his attorneys of crossing the line into victim shaming, a tactic reminiscent of old-school intimidation. The public relations fallout was immediate. Once hailed as hip-hop's ultimate businessman and global influencer, Jay-Z now grappled with a flurry of negative press. Commentators asked if this was just the tip of the iceberg. After all, rumors of his close friendship with others facing serious misconduct accusations, like Russell Simmons and R. Kelly, fueled online speculation that he was part of a broader toxic culture within the industry. Slowly, the tide began to turn. Jay-Z's brand lost some of its untouchable shine. Corporate partners braced for potential backlash, uncertain if they might be accused of enabling or ignoring red flags. For perhaps the first time, the rap legend found himself on shaky ground, unsure whether money, power, or even his fans' loyalty could protect him from these mounting allegations. In the midst of this explosive chaos, the world's attention naturally drifted to Beyoncé. She's celebrated worldwide as an icon of empowerment, artistry, and near-mythical presence. So her response to the swirling rumors and lawsuits loomed large in the public consciousness. But instead of launching a fierce defense of her husband or vehemently denying the allegations, Beyoncé remained conspicuously silent. Rather than making public statements, she seemed to focus on new business ventures, launching a hair care line, pursuing more brand collaborations, and doubling down on her latest tour. Insiders whispered that she might be quietly safeguarding her personal assets. Some claimed she'd even begun the logistical steps toward a divorce, though she never confirmed it publicly. Complicating this picture were the bizarre allegations from Beyoncé's former drummer, who once insisted Beyoncé practiced extreme witchcraft and spiritual surveillance. At the time, most people dismissed those remarks as outrageous. But with the new wave of allegations sweeping the Carters, those old claims found fresh traction in corners of social media. Commenters asked whether there was more to those accusations than meets the eye. For a woman who built her career on commanding stages and championing independence, her refusal to address the swirling controversies puzzled many fans. Was she protecting herself from legal entanglements, or did she have something more to hide? The speculation intensified when tabloids reported a surge in hush-money agreements behind the scenes, suggesting a frantic attempt to keep secrets from escaping. If true, the Carters' legacy of polished perfection was hanging by a thread. One of the darkest allegations cutting through the music business is the notion that Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy are all part of a powerful circle that silences competition and critics by any means necessary. This rumor didn't just spring up overnight. It's been simmering for years, fueled by the suspicious stalling of certain artists' careers after they dared to speak out. Consider Carrie Hilson, a talented singer-songwriter who many believed could become a major force in R&B. She famously criticized Beyoncé in a leaked snippet, and soon afterward, her career momentum slowed drastically. Industry insiders whispered that the Carters used their considerable influence to block Carrie's opportunities, an example of how quickly someone could be sidelined for stepping out of line. Beyond that, there are numerous stories about artists who dared to compete with Beyoncé, only to find themselves blacklisted or overshadowed. Former members of Destiny's Child, including Latavia Robertson and LaToya Luckett, hinted in interviews that they felt betrayed and silenced. While some have since made peace with the past, the record labels, distribution channels, and big award shows all seem to favor Beyoncé's projects. And then there are the even more chilling speculations. The strange, tragic losses of Aaliyah, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and other major talents who died abruptly, leaving fans to wonder if their demises were truly accidents. Some conspiracy theorists point to the overlaps in timing and the company these artists kept. Were they prepared to talk about certain powerful figures? Did they know too much? While many people scoff at these claims, dismissing them as paranoid delusions, the new allegations of sex trafficking, coerced tapes, and an entire system built on hush money have reignited suspicion. The question is no longer whether one or two people might have misused their influence. It's whether a network of powerful insiders spent years smothering the truth with payouts and intimidation. Diddy's downfall was swift once legal authorities started peeling back the layers of secrecy. His brand, once celebrated, turned toxic almost overnight. High-profile sponsors jumped ship, longtime collaborators issued careful statements or no statements at all, and the media fixated on every revelation. In a scenario that once seemed unimaginable, Diddy found himself denied bail by a federal judge, who labeled him a potential threat to society. But he wasn't the only one in hot water. The cascade of allegations pulled in executives and lower-tier associates, people who allegedly facilitated travel for underage or vulnerable individuals, supplied substances at parties, and arranged those rumored freak-off sessions. As more lawsuits piled up, a narrative began emerging. This wasn't the work of one or two rogue individuals. It looked like an entire machine, lubricated by silence, compliance, and lavish paychecks. Courtroom scenes made for a surreal spectacle. Journalists clamored for a front-row seat to watch a powerful mogul plead not guilty, while federal prosecutors outlined a grotesque litany of charges. Some called it a modern-day industry meltdown, with each new indictment or lawsuit further corroding the shimmering facade that had enthralled fans for decades. Whispers persisted that more arrests were imminent. Could Jay-Z be next? Would the Carters finally face an interrogation that matched the scale of their alleged offenses? It was an unprecedented moment, one of the most influential corners of entertainment left teetering as legal walls closed in. An event of this scale was bound to resurrect old conspiracy theories, once deemed too outlandish for serious discussion. Online forums lit up with new threads analyzing the final days of Aaliyah, who was rumored to have been manipulated by those in power well before her passing. Left Eye's sudden departure from the public stage. Did she threaten to expose someone? Even Michael Jackson's repeated claims that a larger, darker force was at work in the music industry took on fresh meaning. None of this is definitive proof of anything. Yet the pattern seems too striking to ignore. Brilliant artists passing away under odd circumstances, often after speaking out or hinting at major revelations. Investigative journalists have begun connecting these dots, examining old interviews, and re-evaluating hush-hush rumors that were once relegated to tabloid fodder. Some fear that focusing too heavily on these theories risks overshadowing the tangible claims already in court. Others argue it's all interrelated. If there truly is a hidden system of blackmail, exploitation, and orchestrated accidents, it demands scrutiny from every angle. With each new witness stepping into the light, it becomes harder to dismiss these accounts as mere conspiracies. The momentum is on the side of those demanding transparency. As major outlets pick up on the story, re-interviewing old sources and unearthing buried documents, we might finally see a shift in how the industry handles big names who cross legal and moral lines. Even if half of these claims are untrue, the other half might be enough to blow the lid off a culture of impunity. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have enjoyed a near mythical status for years. Philanthropic, forward-thinking business icons, the ultimate music power couple. Yet behind that carefully managed image, rumors of controlling behavior, sabotage, and shady alliances simmer. The labyrinth of lawsuits against them and their associates suggests this might be more than a passing scandal. Beyoncé's hush-hush approach to these rumors, combined with her alleged behind-the-scenes maneuvering, financially distancing herself from Jay-Z, speaks volumes. Some believe she's merely trying to shield herself from potential fallout, while others suspect she's just as involved as he is, but has cultivated an impenetrable protective layer around her brand. Whatever the truth may be, the public can sense the tension. Fans wonder if the unstoppable Carter empire could actually topple under the weight of fresh testimonies, leaked footage, and federal scrutiny. If an indictment of the Carters does come down the pipeline, it would mark a cultural earthquake, upending the mythology that has been carefully built around them for decades. Meanwhile, entire social media communities are engaged in fierce debate. Believers call for thorough investigations and justice for those wronged, while die-hard fans accuse the accusers of seeking easy money or fame. Celebrities who once spoke glowingly of Jay-Z, Beyoncé, or Diddy are now conspicuously silent, perhaps worried they'll be dragged into the fray. Ultimately, this story is more than a celebrity scandal. It's a possible reckoning of an industry that has, for too long, hidden its darkest secrets behind platinum records, massive award shows, and glittering red carpets. We're now at a crossroads where hush money and high-priced attorneys might not be enough to stem the tide of accusations. The confluence of new lawsuits, old conspiracies, and emboldened victims suggests the music world's most powerful figures can't silence everyone forever. Whether this saga ends with real accountability or another carefully orchestrated cover-up remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the public is no longer willing to simply look away. Tapes can be leaked, hush money can vanish, and victims can refuse to stay silent. At the very least, these allegations force us all to question what we've idolized and to wonder just how deep the darkness runs behind the bright lights of fame. So ask yourself, if these music giants truly built their kingdoms on manipulation, hush deals, and carefully concealed crimes, how close are we to witnessing the most monumental collapse in music history? And if the entire truth emerges, will it reshape not just the legacies of these icons, but the entire industry they helped create? The next moves are in their hands, and in the hands of a public that may finally refuse to accept the illusions it's been fed for so long. All that's left to see is who stands tall, who falls hard, and whether a new era of transparency can ever truly sweep through the place where fame meets power.